Experience told us how we could reach the other side. And you start to doubt. I don't blame you, 'cause I feel the same. 'Cause a man can only hold on for so long, and we should be proud. All that we can do is hope for miracles, or just let it go. But honey, we have to be together here in the stormy weather. So why do we hold on, stuck in the stormy weather? Stuck in the stormy weather. Here in the stormy
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Advantage Live show. So thank you all so much for being here. As always, I so appreciate it. Hey, just if it's your first time here, please put new in the comments. I would love to know that you're new and welcome you to the show. And also just be sure to put it in the comments. Say hi to us. Let us know you're there and who you are and maybe where you're from. So that'd be all. It's always good to see where you guys are coming from and all that. So yes, we already got Terry's there. Terry, good morning to you as well. Good morning. And then my loyal followers, my parents, there you go. Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you all. April, good to see you, April. Thank you so much for checking out the show again. Appreciate you watching. Thank you. Guys, it's always so good to come here and just share and connect. You know, the whole goal here is to create a community and really just kind of grow together, work together through issues, talk about common struggles going on in the real estate market and those type of things. So I do appreciate you guys being here. I mean, it's, you know, you guys could have a billion and one other things to be doing, but you guys are interested in learning and being a part of something and just connecting. So I think that's awesome. I just love it. And I appreciate you guys so much. Chad, good to see you, buddy. Good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friend. Guys, I got a couple things I want to talk about before we get into the show. One of the things this morning, I'm an early riser. So I actually went outside. I noticed through the window, the sky was a little bit of an orange. And I took some photos. Check out these photos. I mean, this was the sunrise this morning. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, I was just like in awe of this. I mean, look at this. I mean, it looks like a painting, like a Bob Ross painting, right? Beautiful little clouds, puppy little clouds, right? I mean, look at this. It's gorgeous. So I took some photos. I was like, man, I'm going to share that this morning because, I mean, we have so many difficulties that we do throughout our day. Sometimes it's nice to start off the day with something like this. I mean, this right here, to me, is beautiful. And it was funny. This morning, I saw a poll on YouTube or maybe it was Facebook. Can't remember exactly where. But it basically was talking about, like, what do you like most, the sunrise or sunsets? Well, I had just taken that photo. So I was like, well, it's appropriate to say sunrises right now, but I think they're both equally pretty. Tina, hey, good morning. That's Fearless Leader. Thank you so much, Tina. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. So yeah, Terry, wasn't that pretty? I mean, I'm telling you, blew me away. I mean, it was just so pretty. So I sat down for a little bit and just enjoyed it, drank my coffee, and it was nice. I tell you, that's the way to start a day. So let me talk real quick before we get into the actual show about a couple of things. One was being, you know, I don't mean to transition from one topic to another that maybe is a little bit more, you know, sad. But it's something I think we all need to be aware of, especially if you're a realtor or any kind of industry for that matter. There was an article that was just ran. Johnny Knight, he was on the show once before. He's a realtor in West Virginia, and he actually shared an article, and it was about a shooting death that just took place. Let me add this to the screen here. So agents shooting death has local real estate community in mourning and on alert. It's really kind of sad. Basically, the gist of the story was this, that a realtor sold a home sight unseen He did everything correct, disclosed everything, was very honest and upfront about what was going on. But what ended up happening is this 84-year-old man, when he got there the day before closing to do the walkthrough, he was so upset with the house that he actually ended up killing the realtor that was there. And then they got into a police standoff and ended up taking his own life. So it was a murder suicide situation. And it's sad. It's really kind of a scary thought that something like that would happen. But we live in crazy times, and it's just a reminder for us all to kind of be aware of our own safety with what we do. September is actually Realtor Safety Month. And they issue a lot of training and stuff for agents to go through. I encourage you guys to make sure you're aware of certain protocols you should be doing to be safe. This is an extreme case for sure. It has rocketed. I mean, people are, really sad. They knew this guy. He was a really good realtor. So they're really sad that this happened. And of course, we can all relate, just being a fellow comrade in the industry. It's really sad, but we need to be aware of just some safety measures that keeps us safe. One of the things that we do have here at Century 21 is an app called Forewarn. Other agents can acquire this app as well, but basically it allows you to put in a phone number and some details about somebody and gives you a rundown about who they are, gives you a background information on them. And it's just one of the protective measures that you can do to maintain your safety. Also, letting other people know where you're going, communicating, being the last one to enter a building, keeping the door open, keeping the key in the lock, those type of things. All those type of protective measures is very important for realtors to be aware of. So just want to kind of throw that out there. It's sad news, but it is a wake-up call for us to be safe, right? We got to practice safety and be wise about what we do and where we meet people. Stacy, good morning to you. Happy Friday as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stats real quick before we get into the show. I'm going to run through these kind of quickly so we can get to the show, but you saw the ticker kind of going along the bottom. My goal here is to provide a little bit of value back to you guys so you guys can be educated in responding to what the market's going and what things are going on to your clients. So that's the whole point of that. And it's really good information, and a lot of stuff's going on. This is a crazy market we are seeing right now. So staying current on a lot of this kind of stuff is very, very important. And we're going to get into that a little bit in this show as well. So the first one was going to be the affordability slightly improves in August from prior month, but worsens from 1 year ago. So we're still kind of seeing this weird adjustment going on in the market. I think the market is kind of cooling. The inflation is kind of cooling a little bit. I think we've reached that point, that affordability, where someone says, man, it's a little bit more than I really want to afford to pay right now as a buyer, or I just can't afford because my income is not warranted to be able to purchase that home. So that's going to automatically start cooling the market a little bit. So that's going to, bring the affordability factor more to a stable area, maybe a cooling area. So that's what we're seeing there. New contract signings in past 4 weeks are up 4.2% from prior week. Typically I would say, hey, that's cool. We're having maybe more buyer traffic and those type of things. But I will say it kind of follows a seasonal type demand. I looked at the market as a whole. We typically would see a pickup in the market come October, November anyway. People wanting to buy and close deals out before the end of the year or before the holidays. So I wouldn't say a 4.2% increase in contract signings is a huge increase. I still think we're still seeing a stabilization of the market as far as pricing goes and market homes coming on the market and buyer traffic. The other one was median home sales price up 12.6%, and properties typically are selling in 16 days. So we're seeing that, consistently week over week, that we're still seeing the price is still pretty high. They're not the 20% high that they were. So they've kind of come down a little bit. So they're, the prices and the rising is kind of slow. It's slowing down a little bit. So that's good. To be honest, it is really a good thing. It's a stabilization of the market. It's going to help more people kind of move up and get into these homes without this crazy inflation going on. So overall, it's a good thing. Mortgage applications increase. Applications for a home purchase increased 1.5%. Again, kind of follows a seasonal average of that. I wouldn't say that's anything to be kind of like, oh, wow, we're getting a lot more sales. It's 1.5%. It's not huge. Mortgage rates dip. They dip below 3%. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate decreased to 2.99% this year. So it rose up to 3% Monday. And then by Thursday, it was down to 2.99. So rates have hovered at or below 3% now for the past couple of weeks. So it would be really good, to kind of see that kind of stay right in that zone for just a little bit, so the market can kind of cool back down. But to be honest, Dr. Lawrence Yun he's the chief economist for NAR. He's expecting the 30-year fixed rate to increase to about 3.6 by 2022. So we're going to see a gradual increase of that. But that usually has to do with a lot with the Federal Reserve boards and what they do and how they vote and what they do with those. So that basically what they're doing is they're purchasing more mortgage-backed securities, which then increases the federal funds, and that keeps the inflation to an average of about 2%. I know I'm getting a little technical here, but when you see an inflation about 2%, you're going to see a 0.5% increase in mortgage rates. It's just kind of how the market kind of works. So just as a disclaimer too, all these numbers are provided by the National Association of Realtors, Dr. Lawrence and his team, Dr. Lawrence Young. So it's provided by them. You guys can get a lot of these reports from NAR.com/reports. And you guys can read those yourself. But this is a quick summary about the key factors going on in the real estate market. So it's good. So we got a couple other people coming in. Awesome. Yes. So Ann is talking about the Forewarn app. She uses the Forewarn app a lot. That's great, Ann. That's really, really good. It's a good safety measure, so you know who it is that you're meeting and what they're driving and any kind of criminal record they have. Love that. Deb, good morning to you as well. I love the sunshine. It's great. It's good. Stephen King, yes. And a lot of would-be buyers have signed rent agreements. Very, very good point. That's absolutely true. They can't find a home, so that's going to also drive that prices, or at least a stabilization in the market. So yes, Stephen, that is a very, very good point. Teresa Brown, good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Awesome. April, yes, the app is called Forewarn, Forewarn. And if you're part of Century 21, which you are, you can join into a Spark program, and that app comes free with that. It's like, I think the whole program is like $60 a year, opens you up to all kinds of insurance providers, discounts and stuff, and travel and hotels. But really what you get is an app called Forewarn. And that is typically it's about a $200 a year. Actually, it's more than that. I think it's about $250 or $300 a year service that you get included with that program. And it's just, all you need is their phone number, and you can run a whole report on somebody. It's a really great app. I'm actually reaching out to the app developers and have them on the show and talk to about realtor safety in the future. So it's going to be really cool. So yeah, that's what that app is called. Hi, Rhonda. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. At this point, we're going to go ahead and start the show. I thank you guys for being here, and let's get the show started. Welcome to the Real Estate Advantage. My name is Adam Gullett. I am the Director of Growth with Century 21 Advantage Realty in the beautiful state of Kentucky. You're watching the Advantage Live show. It's a show we do every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we talk about relevant information that helps you, the realtor, to be successful in your business and to stay relevant and to deliver extraordinary experiences to your clients. And today is no different. We're going to try to deliver on that promise as well. So today on this show, we've got a couple segments that we're going to go into. First being Brilliant Basic number 3. I'm going through a series of Brilliant Basics for Realtors. Today's episode, it is called I Changed the Game with My Knowledge. The second segment is going to be the Coach's Corner again. It was great last week. We had great activity from you guys asking questions. So I encourage you guys to do the exact same thing this time. If you are not watching this live and you're watching the replay, please put #Team Replay in the comments for me, and then ask a question. I'll come back and answer those even after the live show. We like to be active in the comments as well. So feel free to comment and all the above, like and subscribe, all that good stuff as we go through the show. Let us know you're having some value here. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and start up the Advantage segment now. And I'm titling this, How Real Estate Agents Stay Relevant. The hint is they gain knowledge. Let's go. All right, so I am going to be talking about how real estate agents stay relevant Hint, they gain knowledge, right? They gain knowledge about their industry, about their clients, about what they do, how they do it, about law, all of the above, right? That is what they do to stay relevant in the industry that they work in. And it's no different than most businesses anyway. That's what we all are required to do, is constantly be learning. Last week, we talked about I consciously communicate. That was the brilliant basic that we covered. We'll put a link in the description on that topic as well, and also a card at the top, so you can click that if you go back and watch us on the replay to watch that video. But this week, we're going to be discussing the brilliant basic number 3, and it's called I change the game with my knowledge. Before I get into that, though, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm focusing on the brilliant basics in general. You know, we get so boggled down with all these type of new technologies and all these new things and being thrown at us, all this new marketing ideas, all these type of things. And really, when it comes down to it, what people are really looking for is good customer service. It's not just good enough to be just a basic provider of a service, but they want excellent delivery of extraordinary experiences. And they want to be able to relate to you, to connect to you. It's not so much just about showing them a home and closing the deal and being in contact with them a couple months and then bailing. It's about long-term relationship and delivering an extraordinary experience to them. I want you to think a little bit too, and I've taught about this before, but think about going to Chick-fil-A. And I know it's a fast food restaurant. Let's talk about the consistency of that. When you go, you expect a certain type of system to unfold. You know exactly how you're going to be catered to and all the above, right? You know exactly what you're going to get. You know the order is going to be right. And if the order's not right, they're going to go above and beyond to make the order right. Now, there are exceptions. Obviously, it's fast food. We get mistakes and things go wrong. But overall, they try and strive for a very consistent, persistent, great service. So really, that is the goal as a real estate agent, is to constantly be delivering a wonderful experience to the client. So we're focused on these brilliant basics for that fact right there, to help build a basic foundation that delivers a very good, solid experience for your clients. So here's a couple little stats for you. Client expectations have changed in every industry. Clients not only want good customer service, but want an experience that is personal and unique. Here's some data. 80% of firms believe they deliver a superior experience to customers, yet 8% of their customers say they are really delivering a superior experience. The source of this is the Bain survey. So 80% say, I deliver a great service. I have superior experience and a superior service than my competitors do. When in fact, the results of the reviewer, of the person that's given them the review, only 8% would say that they are. So that's a very staggering percentage, right? We want to elevate that. 80%, 86% of consumers are willing to pay more for a great customer experience. The source of this is a Walker survey by a college. Another statistic for you is 80% of customers say they are more likely to do business with a company if it offers personalized experiences. So I want you just to put your mind on, put your thought cap on, and think about what you would expect your experience to be with a realtor. Think through that. What are ways that you can increase the experience to your client that would take these percentages that are, quite honestly, are very staggering, and tilt them to your favor? Because in reality, if you begin to do that, you're getting a leg up on your competition. So why are we delivering these brilliant basics? I have 3 points on that. They help change the real estate process from transactional to experiential. In other words, it's not just a transaction where they get a home and you make money. It's about an experience for them where they want to talk about you and send more business your way. It also, the number 2 point is this: they differentiate yourself from competitors. It's a unique value proposition if your mind is focused on delivering a great experience that your competitor is not doing. So think about that. Create a great experience so that way they talk and they give referrals, which is the 3rd point. You win more business and you increase your referrals by doing so. It's a byproduct of treating people nicely, kindly, respectfully, and building a relationship with them with long term, looking out for their best interest. The byproduct of that is you win them over for more business and referrals. So here's a question for you. Leave it in the comments. Let's talk about this as we unfold this. What are you doing to give your customers an experience? What are some of the things that you are doing as a real estate agent right now that is giving your customers an experience that makes them want to come back? Feel free to leave that in the comments and we'll come back and revisit that. All right. Now, let's start talking about brilliant basic number 3. I changed the game with my knowledge. The statement for this particular brilliant basic reads like this: I am the master of housing trends, pricing patterns, regulations, processes, and inventory. I own the details. I am known for my real estate know-how and am the first to know potential or competing listings. I am the main source for local knowledge, and I'm active in the community to create relationships and referrals. Here's some top tips from some agents that have basically read this, and this is what they have said. Tips from top agents said this: collaborate with other agents regionally, nationally, and globally. I do this, and it has paid dividends in my referrals, increases my knowledge of new topics affecting our industry, and helped me be a better agent. Another agent said this: I have strong relationships with as many subcontractors, vendors, lenders, title reps as possible. When clients hear positive things about me from others, that is a great comfort to them. Plus, the subcontractors love getting referral business. Another person said this: create regular community events like game nights, walks in the park, etc., to stay in the forefront of past, present, and potential clients' minds. So that's some other top agents and what they have made comments about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down real quick for you guys. So let's expand on this brilliant basic just a little bit. All right. Number 1 is this. It said, be a master of housing trends, pricing patterns, regulations, and processes. Now, how many of you guys can agree that this is kind of a boring topic to read about all the time? It's a lot of data-driven stuff. It's just a lot of data, a lot of information, and then it's constantly changing. But it's very important as a knowledgeable agent to have great understanding about those topics. So you want to know what the housing trends are, pricing patterns and regulations and processes of all those things are. You want to be able to relay that information to them. Here's another question for you. Actually, let's go back. Do we have any questions in here about, so personal attention. So this is answering the previous question, right? What are some of the key statistics that rate? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. First question was, what are you doing to give your customers an experience? And Terry Woodward says personal attention. Yes, being personal with that person, connecting with that person. That's good. It's great. All right, let's go on down here to the next question I have for you guys. What are some key statistics that agents should track in regards to trends, pricing regulations, and inventory? What are some of the things you guys see that you guys think we should be tracking? What do those look like, right? And why should agents track housing trends, pricing patterns, and regulation process? And why do we even track these type of things? But what are some of the things that we should be tracking? What are some things that you are tracking? What do you like to keep updated on? What do those things look like, right? So here's a couple reasons why I think you should track these things. Real estate agents should know the housing trends in their area, because it's crucial to understanding what buyers and sellers want. They're going to constantly be asking you, how's the market? That question is very profound, because how you answer that and how you deliver information is how they're going to gauge what they need to do about buying or selling a home. So the advice you're giving them is very crucial. They are going to rely on you for that information. So when they ask you, how's the market? What does that really mean? What is a buyer and seller thinking when they ask that question? They are internalizing that answer. They're going to say, however you answer that determines to me what I should be doing with my money or my investments or my properties or what and so forth, right? They're taking that question. It seems so easy. We get asked it all the time, but it is a very, very important question with a lot of ramifications if you answer it correctly or wrongly. And it can have major, major issues come up if you don't. So another way is it can be difficult for an agent to sell a home if they don't understand the current market, which is why real estate agents need to stay informed about these trends. If you don't know what is going on in your local market, listings and how long that they're staying on the market and they're closing, and how new listings coming on, and how long they take to close, and what kind of loan offers or what kind of loans are out there to offer those buyers and sellers. If you don't follow these type of trends, then you can't sit there and educate the seller on what they need to do to sell their property. If you're not up to date on the latest information, you might lose out on potential deals because other agents are more knowledgeable than you. That is the major byproduct of this. You are a professional. So if you're a professional, then you need to make sure that you know and have the correct knowledge that you're delivering to your clients. Because if you don't know these things, then I can guarantee you there is a competitor in your market that does. And if they are answering those questions correctly, they are going to win listings, they're going to win buyers, and they're going to ultimately build a very strong referral business. So what are some of the key statistics? If you guys have any, be sure to let me know in the comments. But here are some of the ones that I say these are non-negotiables. You need to know these numbers. It's the average home price in your market. What is the average price of the home selling for? That is going to give you a great baseline to understand home values. That tells you if a home is overpriced. It tells you if it is higher priced, it tells you what to look for in that home that would make it higher than the average. If it's lower than that, then you can see what's going on in the market as well. So knowing the average home price in your market is crucial. Yes, that was Deb. That was my very next one. Awesome. Average days on market. Yes, average days on market. Another one that you definitely want to know is the average days on the market. Thank you, Deb. Because you know why that is important is because you want to go into a listing appointment and be able to tell the person exactly what, or not exactly, but at least an estimate on exactly how long their home might take to sell. So that's the goal of the average days on the market. And then you can correlate that to the pricing strategy of the home, because ultimately they are hiring you to sell their house for the maximum amount that you can get. So knowing these numbers is key. Listing prices and selling prices in the end. Yes, absolutely. Deb, you're on it, girl. Love it. Another one is the absorption rate. Now, we'll do another video on absorption rate and how to figure that. And what the absorption rate basically is how long does it take for all your properties, if you were not to list another property at all, if you're starting today, how long would it be until you run out of properties to sell? The reason why this number is important is because it shows you what kind of market you're in. Are you in a buyer's market or a seller's market? If that absorption rate is low, then you know that there's a lot less properties competing for those buyer pool. So you know you're in more of a seller's market. So you don't have to get into too much of the weeds to explain this to a seller or a buyer. You are in a buyer's market. You're in a seller's market. What does those things mean? Supply and demand. These are good numbers for you guys to know on a weekly, monthly basis, and also to monitor the trends, which is the next point. Housing trends. Market up or is it down? Is it a seller's market, buyer's market? You want to be able to look back and understand these numbers and what is going on. Because by understanding the past, you can begin to look at what's happening in the future. So when someone asks you the question, how is it going to look a year from now? What's it going to look like 2 years from now? This will help you to be able to answer that question knowledgeably, because you know the trends, you know kind of what to look for. When interest rates do this, when mortgage does this, when inflation does this, when buyers do this, when sellers do this, you can begin to take that information and have a knowledgeable answer in response to the housing trends and what might be happening over the next course of the next couple of years. So these are all very key things. So here's another question for you. We're going to transition to the next point I'm going to make here. Let's see if we've got any extra answers here. Steve said, communicate. You have to relay both the good and the bad through the process. Just 100% communicate. Deliver. One of the best ways that you can deliver a very good experience is to be honest, truthful, and full of integrity, no matter if it's good or bad information, and relay that to the buyers and the sellers. Absolutely great advice. Great advice. All right, another question for you guys to answer in the comments if you can. What does it mean to be the main source of knowledge, and why is that important for a real estate agent? So what does it mean to be the main source of knowledge, and why is that important for a real estate agent? Go ahead and answer it. I've got 5 reasons why I think it is very important for agents to be knowledgeable about their market. One of them is this: knowing your market will help you better represent the needs of your clients. You got to know their needs. Absolutely got to know what they're looking for, what they need, what their criteria are, all the above. It will make you more confident when meeting with potential buyers and sellers. Increases the referral business through proactively helping others. When it comes to negotiations, you are speaking from a position of knowledge and can therefore advise correctly. Now, this is a crucial one, right? Because really, we can argue all day long, is a real estate agent relevant? Well, this right here says yes. When it comes to negotiations, you are speaking from a position of knowledge and can therefore advise correctly. This is one of the most important value propositions that you can do as a real estate agent is understanding your market and being knowledgeable. Because what you're doing when you enter into negotiations, you are representing your clients and you're representing their best interest, your fiduciary duties to that client. So being able to have knowledge about the market gives you the best ability to negotiate the best for your client. And that is something computers and software and technology and websites cannot do. This is the things that cannot be replaced by technology or AI. All right, last one, because it's what professionals do. They have answers or know how to get them. I'm not sitting here saying that you have to have all the answers, but I am saying that your goal and your role in this relationship with your client is to know as much as you possibly can and gain as much knowledge as you can, but then also have resources in your, we'll call it Rolodex, to be able to call and reach out to help find the answers. You got to understand this is a transaction that people do very, very seldomly, and it's one of the most expensive transactions that they will do in their lifetime. So they do not have the resources and context that you do. And this is going to add to building that great referral business because they'll want to work with somebody that's knowledgeable. So Tanya, yes, absolutely, to be the go-to. Tanya, that should be the role and the goal that you guys are working towards, to be the local resource and knowledge of real estate in your community. That comes from learning. It comes from connecting. It comes from communicating. That's correct, Tanya. Thank you so much. April, it shows we are involved and knowledgeable. Yes, you are proving to that client that you know what you're talking about. And when you know what you're talking, when you know what you're talking about, you're building trust. You're building a long-lasting relationship with that person because they know they can trust your advice. And that is what we're in the business of doing. All right, I've got a lot of questions for you guys, but I love the engagement. I love the communication. This is good. This is what we're all about, guys. We're growing together. We're doing this together. I have to say this. I have enjoyed the process of even getting and putting this show together because it's challenging me myself. I'm sitting here challenging myself too to say, wow, where have I messed up here as well? What can I do to be better at these things as well? So this is good. I love it. I love the engagement. So here's another question for you. Why is it important for real estate agents to be involved in their community? What is it about the community? Why do you guys think that real estate agents should be involved in their community? What is it about the community that you should be involved in? What is it about our jobs that gives us the ability to be involved in our community? It's another way of wording that question a little bit. You can kind of see where I'm going for with this maybe. So here's some benefits that I see that are involved in you being involved in your community. One, you can have a positive impact on your community by being involved in it. We can have that positive impact. How many of you guys know there are so many negative things? By human nature is to focus on the negative first. We have got to be the positive agents. We have got to be able to go into the environment, serve our community, give back to our community, to those in need. We have flexibility in our schedule. Yes, we work long hours and crazy hours, but if we time manage and those type of things, we can give of our time. So we can be the change agents, right? We can have a positive impact in our community. Number two, you will meet new people and make more connections. That's no brainer, right? That's what you're going to do. You're involved, you're going to make more connections, you're going to build more relationships. So in long term, the byproduct of serving in your community is more referrals, more business. Number three, a sense of belonging. When you're part of a group, it feels like you belong. Serving is a way to not only help others, but it gives you purpose for what you do as well. A sense of belonging. So you can easily do nothing in this industry at all. You can get your real estate license, go to work, and just focus on selling. But when you start being involved in your community and serving back in your community, you belong to that community. You begin to connect with those people in that community and begin to see the same group of people. And when you're all working together to do something great together as a community, everybody begins to flourish. Everybody begins to see more purpose in what they're doing. I think everything that we do in life when it comes to work, we serve others. So if that's the case, by being involved in your community and being a real estate agent with the flexibility of some time management, we have the ability to give back more in the industry because we're not dictated by a lot of different things. We can adjust our schedules to be the change agents in our community. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Tina, by putting yourself out there, it can create trust in you. Amen. That's absolutely right. And I will add to this. There are a lot of times the things that you've got to do in the community where you are serving, it is going to put you outside of your comfort zone. You're going to be challenged a little bit, right? You might have to become a president of an association. You might have to serve and speak in front of people, and you're not a public speaker and it makes you nervous. You might actually have to face some of your fears to be able to do this. But ultimately, what are we trying to do through this? It's exactly what Tina said, to build trust. We want people to realize that, look, we're trustworthy and we're trying to help. We're trying to serve our community and we're doing it together. Thank you, Tina. Tanya, doing things that lift up and improve your community, connections and confidence. Yes, that's exactly right. Let's elevate everybody. Right? We as realtors have a code of ethics. And if you guys read that, it'll tell you exactly what we are to be as realtors. And we are called to a much higher standard than most industries. And that's what makes this industry so unique and so special. So I love it. Connections and confidence. That's great. All right, here's some quotes real quick. Quotes: an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. If a little knowledge is dangerous, where is the man who has so much as to be out of danger? Thomas Henry Huxley said this. Albert Einstein said this: wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Lifelong attempt to acquire it. We're talking about one of the smartest men to ever walk on the earth. Has more knowledge than anything, but when he's asked about wisdom, he says, wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. I love that. Margaret Fuller said this: if you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it. If you have knowledge about the real estate industry, you are going to radiate that knowledge out from you, and people are going to gravitate towards that light because you're providing them with the correct information that they need to make one of the most crucial decisions that they'll make in their life. That's a huge responsibility that we have. Richard Stallman said this: sharing knowledge is the most fundamental act of friendship because it is a way you can give something without losing something. I don't know if you guys realize how profound this statement is. Sharing knowledge is the most fundamental act of friendship because it is a way you can give something without losing something. How many of you guys have heard the term trade secrets? Trade secrets. Let's talk about trade secrets just for a second. Is there such a thing as a trade secret? Are you doing something that has never been done and is only done by you? Do you have something unique that you're offering that someone else doesn't? Maybe you do. And if you do, amazing job. Awesome. Keep doing it. That's huge. My experience is there is no trade secrets. It's all knowledge. We can gain knowledge from anybody. And what I have noticed is the person is more willing to give knowledge away, gains more knowledge by doing so, because they don't take the position as the teacher. They take the position as always the student. And that is the crucial difference between somebody that's a know-it-all and someone that has knowledge and is willing to give it, and then at the same time is willing to listen to receive it. And those are the people that actually grow the most, sell the most, and stay in the industry for the longest amount of time. It's the ones that follow that quote right there. Last one, Peter Drucker: the basic economic resource, the means of production, is no longer capital, nor natural resources, nor labor. It is and will be knowledge. We live in the information age. The industrial age is coming to a very weird adjustment and all this. It comes down to information and knowledge. That is a very profound statement. Something to ponder and think about. Here is the last question for you guys for this segment. What are you going to do to become an expert in your market? What are you going to do to become an expert in your market? So let's see here. Steve said, yeah, C21 agent, sign up for the planning committee. An awesome chance to serve. Yes, he brings up a point. If you're with Central 21 Advantage Realty, we have literally designed a committee. We call it the C Squad for this very specific reason. We want to be the change agents in our community. That's what we want to do. We are taking this mantle of this brilliant basic and bringing it back and bringing it out to our community and serving our community. Yes, that is a great point. Thank you, Steve. Deb Rocky said, keep learning. Amen. Do not stop. You know, I understand there's so many opportunities out there where you can constantly be learning and all that, and it can be overwhelming. But the thing is, most of the way we can learn now is in little bit-sized pieces, 10, 15 minutes at a time. And you could go on to any platform and learn anything you want to learn more than you ever could in the history of time. So take some time and learn something new every single day. You know, start a learning journal if you want. Put in there, I mean, don't long journal. Don't talk about everything that's going on in the day or whatever, unless you're into that. But for the very basic form, get a notepad and say, my learning journal, and make a goal that you date it every single day. And you put something in there that either you heard from somebody or something you learned every single day. Try to make a point to learn something new. And that's just in life in general. Just use it for life in general. Keep learning. Love it, Deb. Yeah, what are you going to do to become an expert in your local market? Awesome. Answer that question. We'll get back to that. So that brings you to the end of this Advantage segment. Thank you all. And I'm going to now move on to the Coach's Corner. And I'm going to talk about what are the biggest struggles that real estate agents have faced or are facing. So it's going to be a good conversation. Thank you all. All right, so we're going to be talking about the biggest struggles realtors face. The biggest struggles realtors face. Here's a question. What are some of the biggest struggles you have as a real estate agent? Go ahead, leave it in the comments. Let us know. Let us know what some of the biggest struggles are that you are facing now or that you have faced in the past. We'd love to hear that. So it's, you know, and it's very simple. It's not easy being a realtor, right? It's just not easy. The hours are long, the work is stressful, and you're often faced with difficult clients. Oh, difficult clients. But there are ways to make it easier on yourself and the clients alike. So I'm going to be introducing you to 6 of the biggest struggles that many real estate agents face, as well as how they have overcome those. So these are things that I have seen over the years of being in real estate that I kind of see pop up consistently over time. So I wanted to kind of spotlight on these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 6 of them, and I'm going to give you the struggle and the solution to back it up. Okay. Now the solution is not a definitive answer. It's an observational type answer. You guys might have a different way of doing it. And there are many different solutions to many different struggles, but I'm going to try to frame it in a way that just helps you guys through this process and get your wheels turning and thinking about this. All right. Struggle number 1 is this. The housing market is unpredictable and can change dramatically in a short period of time. Now, this has never been more true than it has been this year and last. We have seen crazy amount of adjustments going on. You can make the argument, now we're not anywhere near as bad as the crash back in 2006 to 2009, but you can make the argument and say we are in a crazy changing market that's changing by the day, and we have got to stay informed about this. All right, so what is the solution to this? It's this. Make it a habit, and these are a few of the points of the solution. I got a couple here. Make it a habit to check the MLS hot sheet every single day. Know what it is going on in your market in a small frame window. Don't go out here and start reading everything at the national level. Bring it home locally and pay attention to the hot sheet. What kind of properties are coming on the market? What properties are closing? What properties are going pending? Compare those type of properties to what happened the previous month or the month before that. Find out what kind of homes are still on the market that are not sold. What homes have been reduced? Why are they being reduced? What is it about that home or that property that has made it not sell yet? Those are all the questions you want to ask as you go through that MLS hot sheet. So make it a habit every single day to check the MLS hot sheet. The other one I would recommend is using the nar.realtor reports website. This is where I'm gathering a lot of the data that I use to train inside of our office. It's also the one I use in this show to talk about what is going on in the market every single week. This is a great report. It's completely free. It's nar.realtor/reports. Check it out. Go there. I'll put a link in the description to that link, and you can check it out. They upload new reports every single week on there, and you can just go through it and just read and get updated on a few little things and move on. The next thing I would say is read real estate news sources like RIS Media, Inman News, and other national news outlets. If you go to their websites, they have a real estate tab or economy tab, those type of things. Save and bookmark those things. Get a routine together where you're doing these type of things on a weekly, daily, weekly, monthly basis. These are the things that's going to help you gain that knowledge and to be able to deliver that back to your client, right? So check the hot sheet every single day. Check out NAR reports, and then also read and watch all kinds of different types of news and sources like that to stay current. Number 2 struggle was this: the competition for listings is tough. This is what we're seeing right now. Absolutely true right now. Now, this has kind of been true throughout the whole history of real estate, because a lot of agents will say, I'm not a listing agent, I represent buyers. And that is because the competition to get listings is always a hard thing to do, especially for newer agents. You're going into a market where there's a lot of realtors that have been in the game for a very, very long time, and you're going up against them to get these listings. So yes, competition for listings is tough. All right. So here is some options for solutions. If you have some, let us know. Be willing to do the stuff other agents won't. Be willing to do the things that other agents won't. Canvassing neighborhoods, door knocking, live streams about neighborhoods. Like if you got a certain neighborhood that you go to that you're wanting to canvass and you're wanting to market to, do the things that the other agents are not doing. Maybe live stream from that location or do videos from that location, feature restaurants from that location, whatever it may be. Do community highlights. Think about things that you can do that other agents are not doing or not willing to do. Think outside of the box. Keep it professional, but keep it outside of the box. What are the things that people don't like to do that makes them uncomfortable? What are some of those things that you could be doing to make sure that you're getting a little bit of a leg up on the competition? So that's a great one to be mindful of. Do be willing to do the stuff other agents won't do. Attend networking events like conferences, seminars, and trade shows. Pay particular attention to like the top selling agents and what they're doing. Where are they going? Socialize in the same arenas. Be aware about what your competitors are doing in regards to your community and be involved. Network inside of the same network. Get involved in the same type of associations and serve. That's where they're obviously finding success. So you can replicate even what other agents do. Get familiar with what other top selling listing agents are doing. Study your competition. The next one is connect with other real estate agents on social media for referrals and advice. We have this thing where we feel like, oh, I don't want to be friend with a competitor, or I don't really want to reach out to this, so-and-so realtor, or, the reality is a lot of realtors are willing to collaborate. Maybe not necessarily in your same local area, but outside of that, go be a part of state conventions and meet realtors from other cities and get to know them and follow them on social media, follow and like and comment, reach out if you're having a struggle and ask them for advice. Get connections with other agents and start polling them and what they do. So that's a great way to actually differentiate yourself and learn more. Have a reliable marketing plan that includes both traditional, like direct mail, and also digital, like email blasts or social media campaigns and so forth. These types of marketing, they take time and consistency. You're not going to just do a mail out and all of a sudden, boom, I got like 20 listings. It's consistency that's going to make the difference. So realize that you got to do this consistently and over time to start seeing the results. But there's a lot of agents that are not doing this. And it's really, to be honest, not that expensive to do. So I encourage you guys, get out there and send out direct mail and digital email blasts and social media posts and all the above, and tailor your marketing message to be directed at sellers. Now, there's not a huge selling pool right now. We understand that. But these are still things to build a foundation. These are things you should be doing all the time. Ask friends and family for leads. It's funny that I should even bring this up as a solution, but I was guilty of this too, is not going and actually asking friends and family for referrals. I mean, I would occasionally do it, but I wasn't consistently doing it. Now, I'm not saying you just call up your friend and say, hey, I just want to remind you again that I'm in real estate. Can you send me some business? No, be relational, connect with them, find out what's going on in their life. And in the end, absolutely say, hey, I'm still trying to build my real estate business. I'm really trying to get listings. If you know or hear anybody that is wanting to sell their home, please, please, please give them my card or give me their number and let them know if it's okay if I call them. I would love the opportunity to be able to list their home. It seems like a very easy thing to do, but hey, we all forget this. Create relationships with home builders, landscapers, and interior designers. Get out there and build relationships with other professionals in the industry. Take them out to lunch, serve them, be connected with them. All right, that's just simple, good business behavior. Number 3, the struggle. Agents need to stay current on new technologies that are constantly changing. It's a constant challenge. You've got to stay current with all of the new technologies that are constantly being thrown at you. Okay. Not saying you have to implement all of them, but you do kind of need to stay current about what is coming down the line. Because the last thing you want to do is have a competitor have a great software that you actually have at your disposal and didn't know about it, and they're gaining speed on that. Technology is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. As much as you want to resist it, it's here. So not saying you have to embrace all of it, but you definitely want to know what is out there. So learn the technologies that are already provided to you. Whatever brokerage you're with, if you're with us, you've got a complete suite deck that's at your disposal to be used. Get in there and learn what those things are. That way, when you come across a problem, you know of the tech that you have to be able to use. So check with your brokerage and find out what you have. You as Central 21 agents, you have pretty much everything you need to run a very strong and successful business at your fingertips, completely free. Get in there, learn everything you can about that software. Next is stay informed about new technologies that are being announced and what they can do to help your business. So do searches on Google and YouTube and just type in like the best new technology for real estate agents 2021, whatever, and see what kind of comes out. Not saying do this all the time, maybe once a month or something, go in there and just see what is going on in the industry. Again, being knowledgeable about your own business and what you can implement. Number 4, the struggle is this. It takes time and effort before you start seeing any profit from your work as an agent. There are no quick fixes here. So the solution to this is make a plan and set a goal. Make a plan and set a goal. The only way to help yourself get through this part is to actually have a business plan in place. A business plan is a guideline. It's a framework that helps you get to point A to point B. It's not meant I'm going to do all these type of things every single day and I'm going to have this result. No, it's a living, breathing document that changes over time, but it's a framework that helps you know I want to be here and I like to get here at this time. And if you don't make a plan and you don't set a goal, then you're just trying to throw yourself out there and do everything you can, and you're not gauging the progress you have. So make a plan and set a goal. We talked about this. Be a student at all times and learn everything you can, and be willing to do what other agents won't do. Going back to that. Other agents don't like to learn. Be a lifelong learner. Number 5, the struggle. Number 5, the struggle. Difficult clients that complicate a transaction and have unreasonable expectations. So this is a common one. We can get into so many different transactions that we end up having so many difficult clients that we become hardened. We actually take on a persona that's really not ourselves, and we let the industry change the way we behave. And that is a very detrimental thing to do. We have to understand and what the client is going through, and understand that difficult clients are difficult clients because they're under a lot of stress. They might become irrational, but we have to be patient. So this is the solution. We need to be patient. We need to listen to what they want, the needs or concerns. We talked about being consciously listening. It was one of the brilliant bases we went over. That's what this is about. You want to be patient. You want to listen. You want to understand. You want to ask questions that are, that to find out more about what it is that they're struggling with or why they're upset about a certain particular situation. You want to be honest with them about your capabilities. Don't try to oversell yourself. Be sure to keep yourself in the framework of what you can promise. Any promise you make sure that you can deliver on those promises. And that goes back to being a knowledgeable professional. Don't act like you have to have all of the answers for every situation. That will get you into trouble, but nowhere to get the answer is the key. Maintain a professional demeanor at all times, even when they are being difficult, even when it is hard to process this deal. Maintain your professional demeanor. Do not go down to their level. I can't stress that enough. And number 6, the final one here, the struggle, and there's many other struggles. If you guys have one, leave it in the comments. Managing a work-life balance. I struggled with this, and I began to just really dive in to figuring this out years ago. And it is still a process of just constantly being disciplined in this particular struggle. You're never going to completely solve this problem. It's not going to happen. But there are ways to move forward in a direction that helps you to be able to do so. So here's some solutions that I have done and that I encourage you to do. If you guys have other ones, that's awesome. But this one right here is a very important one to me because it affects more people than yourself. There's always someone else that is involved in the managing of your time between work and life, right? So solution is this: rely on some technology. Okay. Technology. But think about it. You have a Google Calendar or a calendar app on your phone. Use it. Set reminders and all those type of things, right? Get in there and, schedule and keep a schedule and a time block. Go in there and say, hey, this point during this time and this time of the day, these couple hours, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my calls, my mail outs. I'm going to do my showings. I'm going to do my listing appointments. I'm going to take some time for myself. I'm going to be, I'm going to go with my significant other. I'm going to go with my kids. I'm going to, all the above, right? Time block all those things out. Give yourself a framework to operate within. Doesn't mean you have to stay within that time frames and those time blocks, but it gives you a framework to operate in. And it gives you the permission to be able to take off when you need to work when you need to, and to address all the issues in your business. All right. Know when to take breaks and for how long. Look, you can't go all day long and maintain the service and the success that you need to do if you're working 9-10 hours nonstop every single day. We are not built and designed to be able to do that. We have to be able to take breaks and take a moment and readjust. And many people do this in many different ways. Sometimes they just take a break and just rest for 10-15 minutes. Some people need an hour for lunch, but you need to give yourself that time. You need to make sure that don't make yourself feel guilty because you're taking an hour during your day to eat lunch and just turn everything off and be quiet and not answer your text messages. Like, it's okay, because I'm telling you, it's going to help you perform the rest of the day. So be sure to take breaks. The next one is get enough sleep. I was guilty of this. I was stressing, worrying, going through all these emotions, and I wasn't sleeping well. So I began to do the things I needed to do to make sure that I got sleep. And I can't stress this enough. If you do not get enough sleep, you got to realize what's going on when you sleep. Your body's breaking down the hormones, it's the spinal fluid, and everything's going on. It's rejuvenating you. If you don't give yourself enough time to sleep, enough hours, you are not going to maximize the time that you are awake and to delivering this extraordinary experience we keep talking about. You're not going to be capable of it. And in the end, it's going to lead to more stress. The hormones get out of whack, and you're going to actually end up having a mental breakdown. It's the process of this. You have to give yourself enough sleep. You have to do it. You have to be mindful of your diet and exercise as well. This is not something you just go around and you live your life, and you just work all the time. You spend time with family. You have to look at yourself as well. You need to make sure what you eat is not high in sugars and fats. I'm not trying to get technical on this type of things, but you do need to be mindful of what you eat. Because think about your car and fuel. You've heard this before. If I go and I put diesel in my normal gas running car, what's going to happen to the car? It's not going to work. It's going to crash, and it's going to burn my engine up, and it's going to, it's not going to work anymore. What's going to happen if all you do is eat bad food? You're going to do the exact same thing. And the funny thing is that contributes a lot of times to not getting enough sleep. So be mindful of those. 30 minutes of exercise every single day. I don't care if it's just a brisk walk. It will increase your endorphin rush in your brain, and the hormones will release a lot of the stress, the cortisol stress, and you will feel better. Get out there and exercise. All right. So I appreciate you guys for listening to me talk about these things, but these are struggles that I have seen over and over to be more common in a lot of real estate agents' business. You guys probably have some of your own, and be sure to leave it in the comments, even after the live show. Let us know. Deb Rocky kind of said, certifications, we're going back to the learning process. Yes, certifications are always good. Graduate of Realtor Institute, accredited buyer representative. Those are all avenues to learn more as a real estate agent. So Deb, yes. Tanya Foster said, don't forget Workplace joined a great webinar on the new Moxie suites. Yes. So she's mentioning a new suite of tools that Central 21 now has access to, Moxie Works. Yep. That's a great tool for technology to use. We talked about using technology in your business. That's great. Tanya also said your suggestion to time block has helped a lot. Great. I'm glad to hear that, Tanya. Awesome. implementation, right? I know you've been implementing that, but time blocking is crucial, guys. It is such a crucial thing. It's not an ironclad system. It is meant to be a framework. So you're not to get overwhelmed with trying to time block and when you mess up your schedule, but it does give you some guidelines for yourself. So, guys, I thank you all so much for being a part of this live show and leaving us comments and stuff. We're at an hour already. So it has been a great conversation with you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Next week, we're going to be talking about Brilliant Basic number 4, and it's I actively listen. I really do. And the statement for that is I ask questions, I actively listen, then interpret client needs to create a memorable experience. I understand my client's specific needs, identify their preferred communication style, and then tailor the process to deliver the extraordinary experience to them. So it's going to be another good conversation. I appreciate you all as always. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Let me know if you're first time here watching, type new, hashtag new in the comments there. And if you're watching this on the replay, please put hashtag team replay. I hope you've enjoyed it this week. I know I have. I've enjoyed the process of learning all this thing with you guys. Deb, thank you so much. Yes, Deb, thank you. I always learn when I watch this. So great to hear, Deb. I appreciate that greatly. Yes, it's really good to come here and, technology, speaking of technology, gives us the ability, you're not on camera with me, but you're here live with me. And we're able to talk through and bring suggestions up and learn together. And I think that's what I love so much about this format. I just love the ability to be able to meet with you guys, connect with you all, see where you guys are at, hear about your struggles even, and it helps us all kind of work together and get better at what we're doing. So I love it. Guys, thank you as always. We'll see you next Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, right here where you are watching it now. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. In the meantime, be fearless, keep pushing forward, and never stop being relentless in your pursuit of excellence. I'm Adam Gullett with Century 21 Advantage Realty, and it's been amazing being here with you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next week. Take care.